Hello, good yo-yo people. I'm Nate, and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today, I have a review of the Reticulated Return Tops Puff Adder. So this is the in the hand section. What does it actually feel like in the hand before I throw it? And you can find the full specs of this yo-yo in the description box. This is Reticulated Return Tops' first metal yo-yo, and they have been making wood fixies for a while. Back forever ago, I also reviewed one of their fixies during the month of Fixed Axle February, so you should definitely check that out if you're interested in any awesome wood fixies as well. They make great quality wood fixies. But this is their first metal, so this is their first adventure into that. Sometimes I feel like whenever companies put out their first yo-yo, they're trying to make something that stands out, of course, and something that's going to get people's attention. But sometimes they make something so absurd that it doesn't really, it's just too odd. I've seen some just odd first designs, and this one is really clean, but also unique enough. The cups in particular, that's kind of one of the things you see first on a yo-yo, and if it doesn't really stand out as unique to say, oh, I know this yo-yo by looking at this cup, maybe you need to go back to the drawing board. So right away, I don't really see a ton of similarities here. You can tell if you took a picture of this cup and you knew it was this yo-yo and you compared it to something else, you're not going to really find something perfectly identical. It's got a bowl in here, so it's not going to be difficult to hit whatsoever. But then it has sort of an extra, just very shallow inner bowl. So we have the larger bowl and then an inner bowl as well. And you'll see that in the flyover a little bit more at the beginnings there. So make sure you take a look at that. But yeah, so you have that little hub there. So you're going to have plenty of space to do finger spins, and then also maybe more intricate finger spin tricks where you're popping it maybe to different hands and things like that. And so it's going to be great for that kind of trick. It is an H-shaped yo-yo. Really nice wide gap on that, and just very open. There's very little wall there next to the response system, so I don't really see there going to be too much drag. You see there, look how much gap there is. So this really going to be really decent for keeping a horizontal plane, because there's going to be less drag there and there's tons of gap there. So you're really only hitting right here, and so you're going to be able to tilt it quite a bit and keep it on plane without it going going crazy. You see the description on their website. They basically were trying to create a yo-yo that was full performance, but also really just kind of fun as well. So not just packed with performance, where it's kind of just geared towards competition and it doesn't really feel like it's kind of maybe just a fun laid back yo-yo. This kind of has both of those. And you can kind of see in the weight distribution on this, even in the hand, where there's very little center weight. Most of it is either towards the middle or a lot towards the rims, and so you're not going to get a very heavy-ish yo-yo. It's going to be kind of nice and nimble, a little bit lighter. It's around 64.5 grams or so on weight, and so nothing super, super light, but also light enough that you're going to be able to push it. I would consider the diameter of this a mid-size yo-yo, so it's going to be nice for more intricate type of tricks. Smaller pockets and that sort of thing. So maneuverability on this yo-yo is going to be really decent. We'll talk about that a little bit more on the string section, but the weight and the size and all that goes into it, it's really decent. And I think it's a clean yo-yo. I think it's unique enough, aesthetically really pleasing. This pink really pops really nice. The matte finish on there is going to be really decent, and of course the shape on that is going to be really good for finger grinds as well. It does have an IRG as well, so I mean it has a lot of the things going for it that you would want in almost any yo-yo that you'll hit any trick with. And so I think just from in the hand section here, I think it's a solid yo-yo. That's my in the hand section with the Puff Adder. Let's go ahead and actually throw it. Welcome back to the on the string section with the Puff Adder. I really like that name too. If you're familiar with Reticulated Return Tops, or if you go over to their Instagram, check out their logo, you'll see that it has sort of a snake curling around and the puff adder is a snake. I don't know too much about snakes. I would assume maybe that yo-yos will kind of fall in that trend as far as the names, so you might see other names that are in the snake family. I talked about how I think this is going to be a really just kind of great competition throw as far as weight and weight distribution and size. It really is. It's a really nice nimble, but it's also not so light I feel like it's getting out of control. I definitely feel it on the string, but it's not heavy, and that really taking out that center weight quite a bit is really going to make this a nice nimble yo-yo. All right, I talked about how the string drag on this yo-yo is really decent for horizontal type tricks, where it's really a lot of less string drag and a nice open gap there for horizontal type. Okay, come on. It's yeah. Anyways, I talked about how the string drag is really minimal on this. There's quite a bit of gap there before you're really hitting any string, so you're really going to be able to adjust for horizontal type play and really feel like you have full control of that. Of course, the finger spin hubs on there I talked about in the hand section are really decent. It's not super locking in where you have a little bit of room there, but you can certainly get it in there really easily, but also there's enough wiggle room so it doesn't just lock in there solid like a deeper dimple might be. Of course, that would also mean that there is probably a smaller axle on this, which I didn't mention in the hand section, but there's already a fairly small axle there in there as it is. All right, let's go ahead and throw a trick, and then we'll have some last minute remarks. Whatever. It's kind of an odd trick that doesn't have an ending, but I really like this part. I like this part where I'm kind of letting go of that slack there on the thumb, and then anyways, yeah. You know, I actually really been digging the puff adder. I think they accomplish exactly what they intended to. It is very competition driven, but it's also not so like just performance, that it has that sweet spot for people that maybe aren't competition driven players like myself, who are just chasing that next trick, but also want something that's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more laid back. And so this kind of does hit both of those. It has that finger spin fun thing going for it. But it also has the shape and the weight distribution and that less string drag, all that kind of stuff that goes into a high performance driven yo-yo. I'm excited anytime I see a company just go at it and put together a good design, and you can tell that the puff adder has a lot of heart and soul put into it, and time and effort and all that. And I hope they are successful. And anyways, that's been my review of the puff adder. I really dig it. I think you will too. Go check them out. And anyways, that's my review. And as usual, good day and good yo-yo.